Welcome in ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5 to the Bullpen. Brian McDonald, Sean Mapes, Cam Smith, John Belmer with you here on Saturday till 1:30 because the Aggies and Auburn follow us with the pregame starting at 1:30, as you might be able to do the math there. But we got 90 minutes to talk Texans, maybe a little bit of Astros, and of course Mount Rushmore plus one. Not at 1:30 this week. It'll be at 1:15. We'll close out the show there. But boys, let's talk about this Texans offense as we get into the show.
Do we have to?
I mean, I think we kind of do.
At least it's
I
only.
mean, we could start with. I could ask you how your day was.
At least it's no.
All right. Let's start.
At least it's 90
Let's start with
minutes.
some formalities. Sean, how was your day so far? It's only noon, but how's your day going?
It's pretty well. Again,
Pretty
it is
well?
only
All
noon.
right.
I am
It's pretty noon.
like
You
2
paid off
hours.
of that?
I'm 2 hours into my day.
2 hours. See, I'm a few more hours in. I already played 2 college football games in one of our dynasties this morning. 2-0, thank you. Although I struggled
the
against
life.
Rutgers, they almost caught me slipping.
Okay.
Cam,
okay.
your day? I know you forgot your deodorant, but you're still here anyway.
Yeah.
I am. Good day so far. One more hour awake than Sean.
Other
All
than
right.
the
Wait, so
deodorants.
2 hours, 3 hours, 4
6.
hours? What time did you wake up?
Over under 4.5.
Okay, John, what do you take? At 4.5? Sean's at the over under. How long I've been awake at 4.5?
I'll go over.
Is way over. It's 7 hours.
Yeah.
You've been up.
Yeah.
I've been up since 5.
five.
Yeah.
You know, older people get up earlier in the morning.
Yeah,
Cam.
Dang it! Come
What'd
on,
you have to do?
Dahmer.
Yeah, I
mean,
get it.
you're
He eats
correct,
dinner at
but come on.
4:30.
What'd you have to do? Milk the cows this morning?
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, I just get up, man. I just get up.
I just
Look,
get up,
look,
man.
And look,
He had to go out to the front door and get the milk from the jars.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I greet the newspaper boy. You know, I ask him how he's doing.
Yeah.
While I'm on my morning
Stroll
Yeah.
No,
with your
there's
cup of
like,
coffee.
There's like an old person term for that. My morning constitutional or something.
I don't know.
I don't know. There's an old
Beats the
person
hell
term
out
there
of me.
somewhere.
Just leave it to Beaver, all right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I think you've talked about this, Sean, obviously on a much different scale than I'm on. But sometimes, like, your work schedule, like, just messes with your sleep clock and you never recover. Yours is obviously on the other end of this, but I used to do a shift years ago when I was at what's now iHeartRadio, where I was 4 a.m. to noon. And so I was up at 2:30 every day.
Oh,
So, yeah, it's like if I sleep past 6, it's a miracle.
wow.
Anyway, no one cares about that. What people do care about is this blazing Texans offense that's lighting up the
God.
scoreboards every week. So Texans offense, I mean, I don't know what we could say that would break new ground on how bad this offense has been, but a few numbers to point out as we get into this conversation. Right now, in 2025, they rank dead last in points scored, averaging less than 13 points per game. I think it's 12.6. 29th in yards, 28th in plays ran, and they're last in first downs gained. Like, this is not just a bad offense. This is a historically bad offense, honestly, through 3 games. So bad that when you compare them to the 2002 Texans led by David Carr in the inaugural season for the Houston Texans, they actually rank behind that year's team in points per game. That year with David Carr, Jabbar Gaffney, I don't even remember who the running back was. I think it might have been Jonathan Wells. I mean, obviously, they're an expansion team. That team averaged 13.3 points per game. So we're
Was it
talking
not
about
Dominique
almost a
Davis?
touchdown less. Sorry?
Was it not Dominique Davis?
No, he came in year 2.
Oh.
Yeah, year 1 was Jonathan Wells, who was a rookie, and they had a veteran who I think only lasted 1 season because he decided to retire and become a rapper. I forget that guy's name. It escapes me at the moment. Not that it matters, but you're I mean, you pull it up on Football Reference.
I'm gonna have to now.
If you're concerned,
Well,
no,
they
Dominic
won't have
Davis.
the rapper part.
If Dominic Davis was not their running back in year 1, I will
Millionaire?
guarantee.
No.
Yeah, no, it was not millionaire. God, I wish I could remember his name. But Cam will find it here in a second. So, as this offense, look, I get that they've got a lot of talented pieces. Obviously, C.J. Stroud we believe in mostly. Nico Collins. I think the Iowa State rookies. You know, there's promise there. And Christian Kirk will obviously make more of an impact as the season goes on. But honestly, until the offensive line and the play caller change, Sean, I don't see any reason for optimism. Will it get better? Sure. Maybe they'll go up to 16 points a game instead of 12. But I don't see any reason for optimism that there's going to be a dramatic shift in the success of this offense on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, I think the only room for improvement is that there's basically only room for improvement. Like there's only like a dead cat bounce of you just will have a game where you score 20 points at some point this season.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't see any like huge sweeping. I mean, you might get. I mean, Nick Caley gets a little bit better at his job, or gets fired, and the replacement is just a little bit better. Bill Lazor,
Maybe.
Bill Lazor.
Like, here's I've heard people, lasers. Shout out to Jonathan Gannon. But like I've heard people say, like, 'cause I mean, if they fire Nick Haley, I'm not blinking an eye because it'd be deserved.
Yeah, it's just who's
But, like,
who's up
okay,
next.
let's say it's Gerard Johnson. Let's still say it's Bill Lazor. It's Popovich. Whoever, it doesn't matter. Like they're not radically changing the
No.
offensive scheme once the year started. They don't have time to install a new like.
It is
so
just getting better at play call and like sequencing the plays in which you
that
call.
would be the best hope you could have, right? Like it's not going to look dramatically different. Maybe he calls a few more creative plays,
Yeah, or
and
just
he calls them in a better order or something.
or honestly just being like, hey, CJ Stroud, what do you want me to run? Like what? Like I at this point,
and that is the frustrating part of it because that was part of the talk, and we're going to do this in the second segment. But part of the audio that came out, like during OTAs and training camp, was CJ talking, and really not just CJ, everybody talking about how this was an offense tailored to its players, set to maximize their own individual talents, not running, just what the offensive coordinator wanted to run, and trying to make the players fit his system. But it's been so far through 3 games been the complete opposite of that.
Yeah, no one would ever want this system that we've seen.
No, it feels like an out. I'm obviously a little bit of an outside here, Cam, as a Chargers fan, but I think a lot of people had hopes that Nick Haley coming from a Rams system, this offense was gonna look a little bit like that. Obviously, it wasn't gonna be as good because you're not Sean McVay. You got the guy that brought Sean McVay coffee, as Sean rightfully pointed out weeks and months ago. But instead, we got like kind of this throwback to 2005 Patriots, except for, oh no, you don't have Tom Brady running it. What's been your overall impression of this Texans offense and the direction they've gone with the type of system they're running?
I mean, look, I get with like all the coaching trees, all these offenses are going to have, variables that come from other teams. But it seems like with the Texans, for as long as I can remember, whenever they try and mimic another offense, it never goes well.
And doesn't it feel like it's always the Patriots?
Well,
Maybe it's just because Bill O'Brien was here for like 6 years.
I was gonna say it's been the Patriots for a decade almost, but going back further, it was like running the Shanahan stuff with Kubiak, which
and
did
then
work.
2 years with Slowick. Like really, they've either mimicked the Shanahan tree or I don't even know what you would call the Patriots tree because it's really based upon Tom Brady.
The Josh McDaniels tree,
I guess, but the Tom Brady system predates Josh McDaniels.
The Charlie Weiss tree.
It really is. Yeah, it's really the Charlie Weiss tree.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think I read something where there's still like the run game, they're trying to mimic the Rams, and the passing game, they're still trying to mimic the Patriots.
Yeah.
And it's just like clearly trying to run the Patriots has never really worked for you.
Unless
so why,
you have Tom Brady.
Yeah. So why are you trying to resort to that? And I think a more glaring factor is the fact that this team can't even average 13 points a game. Like averaging 12.7, like that's so terrible. Like you're not even averaging.
Yes, it is.
You're not even averaging a touchdown and 2 field goals.
No,
you're not even averaging 2 touchdowns.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad.
You're right, Cam. It's terrible. And Will Kunkel yesterday brought up he just pulled up like the bottom of the leaders in the NFL, like the distance between the Texans and 31 in terms of points scored.
Right.
And it's like that. Whoa, there's an empty Coke bottle down here.
It just fell down.
Yeah, I just kicked
Who
it.
sits? Will was in that seat yesterday. Is that Will's?
It might be Will's.
The-
Might be
the-
Jeremy's. I don't know.
The Cleveland Browns are the next lowest scoring team at 15.3.
Yeah,
Let's pause.
Another field goal.
Let's pause there. Okay, one, there's a field goal gap, which is bad, between you and the 31st best offense in the league. But you're trailing the Cleveland Browns. I think that should be the most embarrassing statement. I mean, this is a team starting Joe Flacco, giving Jerome Ford for some reason still a fair amount of playing time.
Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman on the outside.
Yeah, breaking in a rookie tight end with Harold Fannin, although David Njoku is also there. That is a team nearly completely devoid of talent on the offensive side, and they are outscoring you. And okay, you've played the Rams. They played the Packers
and won.
The best defense in the league, and yeah, they won.
And they
scored, I think, 13 points in that game, which outscores your average for the year.
And they should have beat the Joe Burrow Bengals in week 1.
They should have, yeah. They should have.
So the Browns are actually like way better than you right now.
I hadn't even thought about that, but as we stumbled upon it, that might be the most damning thing I could say about the Texans offense so far, that they significantly trail an offense in the Browns that's led by Joe Flacco, Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, Jerome Ford, and Harold Fannin, a rookie tight end.
And they've been looked at as like the clown show, the poop show the last 5 years, and you are below them. And so what are you?
I have to ask, who won the Deshaun Watson trade?
713-780-3776. Now, if you do want to weigh in, though, on the HRP listener line, please do throughout the show, 713-780-3776. All right, we're going to go to break here. On the other side, we're going to play some audio from Diana Rossini, who kind of sent some speculation storms out there about what might be going on behind the scenes with the Texans. And then we're also going to maybe briefly hit on this boring-ass game against the Titans coming up tomorrow, and then have some fun with some of the audio that hasn't aged well since OTAs and minicamp with the Houston Texans earlier this year. That and more when the Bullpen returns. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is The Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
All right, welcome back into The Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, Sean Mapes, and John Belmer with you here until 1:30 before we hand it over to the Aggies as they take on Auburn in College Station. Tracking all the big college football games going on today, including Notre Dame. Joe will be happy about this. Up 21-10 so far at Arkansas. That's playing out kind of like I think most people expected, that Arkansas's destined to fire their coach. I don't know if it happens in season or after season, but that's a program I think's heading for a reset. What stands out to you most on this college football slate today, Sean? What are you looking forward to most?
Yeah, I was gonna say anything in progress or just in general.
I mean, well, yeah, take it anywhere you want.
I mean, to me, it's the fact that we have at least 3 games that would be the best game on most college football weeks, and we have them all today. Whether that's LSU Ole Miss at 2:30. You got Oregon and Penn State at 6:30, kicking off at the same time as Alabama at Georgia. I mean, to me, Penn State, Oregon's the most interesting just because it's two teams that are seem really, really good and are completely untested this so far this season. The best team that Oregon's played is take your pick, either Oregon State or Oklahoma State, and Penn State's played nobody. So to me, it's a big test for a young Ducks team going to Happy Valley to play a team that hasn't won in these spots, and both teams are very unproven.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see if Dante Moore is ready for that spot. I mean, obviously coming from UCLA, hasn't played in a lot of big time games. This is certainly, unless I'm forgetting some other game in his career, this has got to be the biggest atmosphere he's ever stepped into.
Is.
And like you said, like the biggest game on their schedule so far, whether it be Oklahoma State or Oregon State, ain't saying much. I know Penn State's played nobody. Oregon's also kind of played nobody. The other game of their schedule at Northwestern, which they handled easily. They're up 34-0 in that game before they gave up a couple touchdowns at garbage time. But locally, Cam, your Cougs got a win in a more difficult fashion than most expected.
That's why I woke up so late. The Cougs kept me.
Yeah, I mean, the
Oh,
Cougs
darn.
going into that game 13.5. Thank you, Johnny. Cougs going into that game a 13.5-point favorite, Cam, but a little bit of a struggle to get the job done in Corvallis. But what are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little nervous, especially since Oregon State hadn't won a game going into it, and Cougs were down a lot of that game.
They were down at half. They were down going to the fourth. They were down 14 at one point in the fourth quarter.
They're down going into overtime.
Yeah.
No, wait, it was tied.
Not technically possible.
But you know what? I'll give it to Connor. He led that team back in the fourth quarter and put them in a position to win. I mean, it was an ugly win, but at the end of the day, is it weird that does it seem like U of H plays on Thursdays and Fridays almost more than Saturdays now?
I think that is a reflection of where. Don't take this the wrong way. I think that's a reflection of where your program's at.
I mean, I don't mind it because it spotlights it. It's just
That's my point. Like if UH plays on the main slate of Saturday, they get buried.
Yeah.
If you play on Thursday or Friday night, you're highlighted.
So I don't. I mean, like, I'm wondering if the Tech game is.
I think that's
Is
Now
on- that's a Saturday?
That should be that. Yeah, I don't know. Is it a Saturday?
They already have it. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, that date would already be established. But that is definitely one I'm looking forward to. I think Tech's probably going to be favored in that game, I would assume.
Yeah, Tech is really
think
good.
Tech took it to well, although it was close for a little while, they took it to Utah in the second half. And UH, I mean, I guess their most impressive win would be the Colorado win, but you know they played SFA. They haven't played a murderer's row so far, so I would expect Tech to be at least a small road favorite.
I mean, yeah, you hate going against your own team, but Tech, and this is a weird year too. Not only is Tech good offensively, but you don't really talk about Tech being good defensively.
Not historically, no.
And
They kind of won the game last week on defense.
yeah, so they're a pretty well-rounded team. But so the Oregon Penn State game, that's intriguing because if I'm not mistaken, Franklin has an abysmal
it's
win-loss
like 10
record
and 20 or something
against top 10
teams.
teams.
Yeah,
So
or
this
8
is
and 20, something like that.
I almost wonder like how long are they going to? I mean, they're not going to fire him.
No, I mean
But-
as long as he's winning 10 games and
yeah.
getting to the playoffs,
He just has to get the monkey off his back at some
Yeah.
point. And honestly, Dan Lanning's in a similar spot, a little less so because he doesn't have as many years. But as far as road wins, big road wins that Oregon's had over Lanning's time, there's not really that many.
No, like their biggest win was at home against Ohio State.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to think of the big road win.
No, they lost in Seattle playing Michael Penix the year
Right,
that
they lost
UW
to
went-
Washington twice that year.
Yeah, and so and then obviously in the Rose Bowl they get smoked by Ohio State last year. So you know it's an interesting spot for both teams, and I think you could make a case that whoever wins could be number one.
Yeah, I would certainly say. I'm trying to think. I don't know if Penn State would jump Ohio State.
Yeah, they'll probably be two.
Yeah, I think you're probably looking at the winner being 2. All right, let's get back into Texans. So Diana Rossini of ESPN said something interesting, and we'll have some audio here for this, John. I mean, I don't think it's shocking that considering how bad the Texans offense has played, as we laid out in the first segment, fewest points scored in the league, fewest first downs in the league, scoring less points per game right now than the David Carr 2002 Texans. It's not surprising that an offense that bad would have maybe some rumbling behind the scenes of being unhappy with how things are going. But let's hear from Diana Rossini right now, who lays out something kind of interesting with some speculation about behind the scenes unhappiness.
Diana, is C.J. Stroud any good? What is going on with Houston?
It's a good question. I'm writing about it this week. C.J. Stroud is really good. I think they are still trying to figure themselves out on offense. They have a new play caller. They have a different looking offensive line. I still think they're working some kinks out. So he's still good. I'm not on this. I'm not in the camp of he's ruining his opportunity here to get some mega extension. I still think C.J. Stroud can play. I just think there's still a lot of work to be done, and there's some things going on behind the scenes that I think we're going to find out about soon.
So I've seen some people, mostly Texans, or Stressing or Blessing on Twitter, make the claim that clip is probably about the release of C.J. Gardner-Johnson. While I don't dismiss that as a possibility completely, she says that after being asked about C.J. Stroud and immediately
talking about C.J.
immediately following, well, he's not as bad as he's played. So I don't see why she would say something about C.J. Gardner-Johnson, like news about him coming, immediately preceding being asked about C.J. Stroud and talking about C.J. Stroud. So I think I know where you're at from our conversation yesterday. But Cam, I'm interested. When you hear that, to me, that sounds like, if I'm going to handicap this, like the favorite of what the behind-the-scenes grumbling could be would have to be C.J. Stroud being unhappy with not only with the performance of the offense, but maybe even the offensive scheme from Nick Caley.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all wondering to know what happened with the whole C.J. Gardner-Johnson thing, but at the same time, he was here for 2 games, and you basically gave up nothing for him. So it has to be about...
you gave up Kenyon Green. A former first-round pick.
Who also got released by Philly. Green. So...
Yeah, it was a trash for trash
I'm
trade.
interested in knowing, because the only thing that we've really heard about C.J. Gardner was, we wish him well, but we're looking out for, like, the best interest of the team. So not specific. There's obviously more that goes into it, but this definitely has to be about C.J. Stroud being unhappy.
Yeah,
there's no way you're going to write an article.
Sean and Will and I talked about this yesterday. Like CJ, and this is not a criticism, CJ, but he has a history of this. Sean, you looked at the name. I've already forgot what you told
Kevin
me.
Wilson.
Kevin Wilson. So, when CJ was at Ohio State, he didn't respect his offensive coordinator initially, Kevin Wilson, so much to where he would only talk to Ryan Day, the head coach, about the offensive scheme. Like, he had that little respect for him. We obviously found out, over the last year, and especially in quotes this offseason, he didn't seem to have much respect for Bobby Slowick. Like, this is not, well, I don't see it as a criticism, because if you're a good quarterback, if you're a good player, and you see inept coaching, you should point it out, because the whole idea is obviously to be better and win. This does seem to fit something Stroud has done and is willing to do.
Yeah, and like I know this is a weird comparison because you're talking about a future Hall of Famer in a different sport, but it almost gives like LeBron vibes, like wherever he goes, it seems like
he's playing GM.
He's playing GM, and it just seems like nobody is ever the right fit for him. He's never happy with. I mean, you can't really say play calling,
he was happy
but
with Spoelstra.
I mean, yeah,
not
but like
to get lost in the weeds here, but
at other teams, it just seems like he's always had like an issue with who's calling things.
He did try to get Spoelstra fired.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
And,
that's good.
And now we're seeing this thing with CJ where it's just like, okay, dude, like what fits for you then? Like what do you want? We can't create the perfect coach.
I see what you're saying. It's also a fact of like I think he's right. Like I'm not I think he's right. He was right on Slowick. He's right on Caley from what I've seen. And it's not like either of these guys are some established offensive coordinators or any established really NFL coaches in any serious way. So I almost see it as like, it's not even a negative. It's just like C.J. Stroud is someone who just doesn't...
Who's calling out what we see.
Yeah, it doesn't take BS.
I mean, I get it. If you know what you work well with, then state it. But it's just like, I also have to think that they talked to him about these hirings beforehand. And I feel like...
yeah, but how much say does he really have?
I'm not saying he has a ton of say,
If D'Amico comes to him and says... actually, I think in this case it'd be Caserio, because to me, Caley was a Caserio hire. So let's say Caserio comes and is like, hey, we're going to hire Nick Caley. And C.J. Stroud says, that guy's dumb. I don't want him. Like, I don't know that they would still go through the hire, but I don't think this is a situation like LeBron where he can literally dictate.
Well, yeah,
being
he's not
hired.
that level
He
yet.
can't
but
hire JJ Redick, is what I'm saying.
He's not at he's at, I guess, the same level as Deshaun Watson in
Yeah,
2020.
Deshaun Watson couldn't get the GM he wanted
couldn't
hired,
get-
and then he
he
got
couldn't get
mad
the guy's
and wanted out. Yeah.
They didn't interview, or I think they did
They interviewed Khan, but then they went back and apparently Easterby kind of like spearheaded the thing to get Casario here.
Yeah.
got to convince Ryan Day to come to Houston.
That might be the next step. Like, and honestly, like I don't know. I think the failure, and it's something that we talked about yesterday, Sean. But the failure here seems to be that the Texans have now twice willingly, despite investing the second overall pick in a quarterback, decided our best plan to develop and get the most out of this second overall pick is hire 2 offensive coordinators who have never done it before and be supported by guys like, no offense to Rod Johnson, obviously played at A&M from Humble, love the guy, but a guy in Gerard Johnson who didn't have a lot of, time in that role, the role he's in either. Like I don't see how they could have honestly looked at our best possible path to develop to get where we want to go is trust the second overall pick with 2 guys who've never done it before.
And especially with a first-time head coach who's heavily involved on the defensive
right,
side.
who can't help out. Like it kind of feels like they put two guys on an island, and the guys they chose to put on an island had no experience on how to get the job done.
Yeah.
It's amazing Stroud had the rookie season that he had. If all of this is, what you're saying is true. Like, I know it's true, but like, it's amazing that he had the rookie season that he had with this type of support.
Yeah, it really is, especially because it was something where going into the season, when you're comparing him to Bryce Young, going into that season, it was thought of that like Bryce Young had a better situation that he was heading into in Carolina than CJ Stroud had in Houston. Like that was the prevailing
popular
wisdom.
thought for sure.
And obviously we saw how those 2 rookie years went. And yeah, it's crazy. It's also that was the best offensive line that he had, and that was like they were stumbling into George Fant as like
that offensive line
George.
started poorly. If you remember, like I think
they got abused in
7 sacks
Baltimore.
in the first 2 games, and then by week 3, which I think was against the Steelers, that was their first win that year. Like completely turned around. Like like one of his criticisms has always been he can't adjust, but he seemingly did adjust that year.
Yeah,
but like I think the frustrating thing going forward is they've made such glaring errors in their decision making. And to fix it, you're going to have to trust those same 2 people to make decisions to fix it, right? Like,
yeah,
like I think that's like my concern going forward, and like the concern of wasting CJ. Well, they've pretty much already wasted his rookie contract. We'll see what happens in the offseason. But like, even if they were to get it right with their offensive coordinator, and that's a huge if, he's probably going to be gone in a year. Because, like, if you get your offensive coordinator and if you finally hit on it, he's going to go, take a head coaching job somewhere.
That's why, to me, like, he has to be an established guy. He has to be an established. He can't be the young.
Steve Spagnuolo, but on offense.
Yes, he can't be like the young hotshot
right.
offense, which is what they've done the last 2 times, and neither of them have worked out. So I think in general, you're going to look for that, and then to kind of head off what you're talking about, where, I mean, at the very least, like, you get a second year out of a guy because he has some stink on him as far as like, he has a head coaching record next to his name.
He's got skeletons in the closet that teams are going to wear or
like
shy away from hiring him as a head
even if
coach.
it's like a Mike McDonald or not Mike McDonald, Mike McDaniel like
Perfect.
type, where it's like he's not going to be an OC, things go well, and immediately get another head
he's going
coaching
to take him 2 or 3 years.
There's going to be some stink on it, like
For
or you go with another guy who might have that kind of track, or a younger guy with the that is on the head coaching track, but you just supplement them with a staff with some established coaches, with a like Jim Caldwell type, with these guys that have been there and done that.
Yeah, for sure. And I hope I like the idea of the Mike McDaniel hire. And obviously I like the idea of a veteran hire, but I would just like to see them go back to more of a Shanahan, Kubiak, West Coast sort of tree, because what we've seen.
Kubiak's got 3 kids. One of them can be the OC. We could just rotate them.
I mean,
rotate 'em
what
through.
have we seen from guys in that tree? Like Kevin O'Connell. I mean, how many bad to average quarterbacks has he won? Like last year, Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love gets hurt. He wins 2 games with Malik Willis. We've seen how how much quarterback doesn't matter in San Francisco with Kyle Shanahan. They're very offensive or quarterback friendly systems that are able to, in my opinion, more easily get the best out of their quarterback versus the Patriots tree, not to beat the dead horse, but has only worked under Tom Brady because there's so much that goes into it that makes it one of the more complicated offenses to learn. Like, there's so many options that, the wide receiver has to see the exact same thing as the quarterback at the exact same time in order to make that route or make that work. And you're trying to pull that off with a young quarterback and then multiple rookie wide receivers.
Yes.
It just seems like something that's NFL. Anyway, we got to get to break. Matt in League City is on hold. We'll get you on the other side, so don't go anywhere. When we get back, we'll talk some college football, we'll talk some NFL, and maybe some more Texans if we have time. Bullpen returns in a couple minutes. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is the Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
Welcome back in to the Bullpen, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Here with you until 1:30 before we hand it over to Aggies versus Auburn. And programming note, the three of us, unfortunately, John, I assume, will be in studio running this bad boy, trying to keep things on the track. But the three of us, Cam, Sean, myself, will be in Kemah next week. Cam, you didn't know about that, right?
Nope.
Okay, Cam's finding out live on air.
Heck yeah.
We're in Kemah next week at the Kemah Boardwalk.
Oh, wait.
As a part of their
course.
Oktoberfest.
The weekend I'm out of town.
Are you serious?
I have a wedding to go
All
to.
right, Sean and I out at Oktoberfest as we were
Are you
last year,
kidding
Sean.
me?
Yeah.
When after the show we got to watch Vandy finish off the
Yeah.
upset of Alabama.
At
so.
Bubba Gump's.
Yeah.
On one TV, we're watching Vandy, their historic win against Bama. On the other TV, we're watching Forrest Gump. And so I think things
It
really
was
worked
it was
out.
a perfect day. It was
We'll
a
miss you,
perfect day.
Cam.
We'll miss you, Cam. We'll
I'll order some shrimp for you.
Yeah. What
I
type
don't know
of
if
shrimp
we're
should
gonna
I
be at
order in
Bubba
your
Gump's
honor?
again, but-
You what
Shrimp cocktail,
Shrimp cocktail,
sandwich,
yeah.
Bubblegum
got
shrimp,
popcorn shrimp,
fried shrimp,
you a
gumbo.
coconut shrimp guy?
shrimp
What's
scampi,
I pretty much eat all shrimp.
shrimp
all right,
Alfredo.
we'll order all the
Yeah.
shrimp for Cam and send you photos.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So come out and join us next week. We'll be 12 to 2 out there on the Kima Boardwalk as a part of their Oktoberfest. But not Cam, because he's
No.
a loser. He's got other things to do. All right, right now let's go out to the HRP listener line. You can also call or text us on that at 713-780-3776. Let's talk to Matt in League City. Wants to talk college football. What do you got going on for us, Matt?
Hey, guys. Love the show, man. What do you think about this matchup with LSU and Ole Miss and the Auburn Aggies game this week? And a follow-up question, how does Jeremy Branham still have a job? Good Lord.
Last one first, Brian.
Who should answer the last one? Not
I
me.
think you
No,
should.
I love Jeremy. Jeremy deserves to have his job. He's very talented. Sean, I'll let you handle LSU Ole Miss here in a second, but I think the Aggies are gonna roll today. Like when I say roll, I don't mean it's gonna be some 30-point like a game like you would have against a directional score or anything. But I think the Aggies win. I think the Aggies cover, which last time I saw was 7.5. I mean, this Auburn team, not that the Aggies are going to repeat 10 sacks like Oklahoma did a week ago, but Oklahoma's pass rush just absolutely obliterated Auburn. Really a game that Auburn's probably going to look back if you're an Auburn fan and say they should have won. They had so many things go up. They had like a number of missed passes that like I forget the sophomore wide receiver's name off the top of my head. But he had several plays where he burned his man.
Cam Coleman.
Cam Coleman, and just the pass sailed over his head. A couple of series they could have had touchdowns, didn't get it. And obviously they had a fumble return to the house that got overturned on replay, which I thought was pretty questionable. So I think Auburn fans will probably think they should have won that game at OU last week. But still, I think A&M at home, Mike Elko defense, we know how well he generates pressure. Auburn just gave up 10 sacks the week before. Plus, Marshall Reed, that offense is playing better than we've seen. So I think the Aggies roll and cover.
Agreed.
Agreed?
A&M's got two legit wide receivers. I mean,
Sure do.
and by legit, I mean could get drafted within the first 2 or 3 rounds in the NFL draft. And yeah, I mean, they're not turning the bar over. I think Marcel Reed has 1 interception in 3 games, and it was a weird, flimsy pass against Notre Dame. So outside of that turnover, Reed's basically played perfect all year.
So what are your thoughts on LSU? Sorry, go ahead and talk about the Aggies. LSU Ole Miss.
The biggest surprise for the A&M offense, not really surprise, but the biggest standout part of it is that they're so explosive on offense. And in a game against Auburn, where Auburn so far this season just has not been able to do anything through the air, it's going to be a really interesting matchup of a team that can score really fast versus a team that has to kind of march it down the field against a good defense. Also, you got some body blow theory with the Auburn coming off a tough game in Norman, having to immediately now play the Aggies coming off a bye week.
Back-to-back road games, too.
Yeah, so it's a tough spot for Auburn. LSU, Ole Miss, obviously the biggest news with this game. You hear about this? You see this? Linebacker, defensive captain, one of the best players on LSU.
He's engaged to...
Not engaged.
Not engaged? Okay.
Their Instagram official, they announced on Monday that Whit Weeks and Landry Kiffin are now Instagram officials.
Lane Kiffin's daughter.
Lane Kiffin's daughter are dating. They announced that this week of all weeks, which I really enjoy.
I don't know the full thing with Lane Kiffin's daughter, but seeing the news, apparently she's putting out slideshows at inappropriate times, news that's coming. It doesn't seem like there's a great relationship between dad and daughter.
I think Lane Kiffin's a bleep stirrer, and I think his daughter's also just a bleep stirrer. I think
and now making it Instagram official the week you're playing that
I think it's
team?
a troll move by
by
someone who's raised by a troll.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, I guess.
But talking about the more specific in the game, it's gonna be tough for LSU's offense. I mean, they were questioned, the first question of a press conference after beating Florida. That Brian Kelly didn't like the line of questioning by LSU media after they scored 17 or 20 and beat Florida. And I think it's going to be another tough one. Their running back, Caden Durham, is doubtful for the game later today. So it's going to be a slugfest, or it's going to have to be all on Garrett Nussmeier to really just sling it all over the yard.
And he hasn't really been able to do that this year.
He has
yeah,
not,
let's
he has
stick
not
with
done
that
that
first.
yet.
Let's stick for that. So I'm interested in what you think about this, guys, because Garrett Nussmeier came into the season with, I think, some kind of hype of, top 10 pick, maybe even top overall pick in the NFL draft. Offense, I mean, what did they score? Like 20 against Clemson? Like the offense output, I don't think has really matched, because the seasons past with LSU, it was always, well, they can score 100 points per game, but their defense was.
I mean, it was like that last year. Like they've just kind of flipped as a team.
Yeah, they invested a lot through the transfer portal and NIL to get a good defense in, and it certainly paid off. But it feels like that offense has taken a step back. Or have you fallen, I guess, less in love with Garrett Nussmeier this season? You still think he's that same guy, and they're just figuring things out?
I think, to me, like I haven't. I'm kind of back to neutral with them, because I thought he was a guy who had talent but turned the ball over too much. The good thing is, he hasn't turned the ball over that much. He just they had 2 offensive linemen get drafted really early in last year's draft. So I think that's part of where the running game, it all just stems from the offensive line of they can't block for the running game, so that makes the passing game harder. Now they're also not very good at pass blocking, and now they're behind the sticks, and now it just kind of, the problems are mounting on each other a little bit. So they're going to have to get things figured out at least a little bit against Ole Miss, because they have a pretty solid defense, and their offense this year has just been completely insane. They came in with not a Heisman like favorite at quarterback, but someone who is a legitimate Heisman contender in Austin Simmons at quarterback, and he got hurt against Kentucky and might have got Drew Bledsoe. He might have gotten his job taken from him by Trinidad Chambliss, the Ferris State transfer, who they're going to be rolling with now. And he is another guy who's just like, it just bombs. He is going deep.
4 verts.
Yes, and he is running. That is it. So I think it's going to be an interesting spot for Chambliss going up against a really good defense for the first time.
And before we go to break, Cam, I'll start with you. The other big game of the weekend, obviously, we talked about Oregon and Penn State earlier. We obviously just talked about LSU and Ole Miss. What's your pick, Cam and Sean? Cam first. Georgia, Alabama. Who you got in this game?
Oh, Georgia. Yeah.
I'll also go with Georgia. Kirby Smart is 1-6 against Alabama, but that was last year, and also Nick Saban.
And Nick Saban ain't walking through that door.
Yes, yeah. I'm willing to hand wave it a little bit. It is interesting that there is less steam on this game than in years past.
Is that because of? I mean, one,
I think
obviously,
Bama.
big part of that is Nick Saban's not there, so that provides some of it. But to me, it's also kind of a, like, Ty Simpson is not in Gunnar Stockton, I think, is, people learned his name last year because he came in the SEC championship game against Texas. But like, this feels like kind of the least sexy the quarterback matchup has been for Georgia Alabama in a while.
Well, it's even less about like the quarterbacks to me. It's more about how many teams in the last decade, how many Alabama teams in the last decade would beat this Alabama team?
Most of them.
9 or 10?
Yeah.
How many Georgia teams of the last decade would beat this Georgia team?
Most of them.
I think that's part of it, is that they're getting judged against themselves. And I think Georgia is still a contender. I think Alabama is still a contender to, like, if you tell me that they win the national championship, I wouldn't be stunned that they do it. They're not that far away to me. I just think that it's a little bit of that, where they're getting judged against themselves. And it's a stack weekend, and this is a matchup that we've seen a lot. We saw it, 2 times a year for a couple years, where they would play in the playoff and then play in the SEC title game and then play in the playoff.
Right.
And so there's a little bit of diminishing returns there. But yeah, give me the Dogs in Athens.
Yeah, I'll take the Dogs too. Like, both of these teams, I think, had obviously, now Alabama's rough spot was actually losing against Florida State. Georgia's rough spot was just playing playing it too close against Austin Peay, and then, like you said, almost losing against Tennessee. But I mean, if you're looking at like where are they most tested, Georgia went on the road, and even though it was close and you could nitpick their play a little bit, they still won at Tennessee, whereas Alabama's best win is Wisconsin, who's probably going to fire the coach before the year's over. So
and their loss to Florida State looks
and the loss to Florida State looks even worse after last night. All right, we're going to wrap up the college football conversation there. On the other side, when we get back, it's time for our prize picks and our NFL game picks when we get back on the bullpen. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
This is The Bullpen on ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. Live from the Veritex Community Bank Studios. Here are the producers of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5.
All right, welcome back into the bullpen. ESPN Radio 97.5, 92.5. With you here until 1:30 before we hand it over to Aggies versus Auburn. And speaking of college football, Joe's Notre Dame Fighting Irish really putting on the Hogs 42-13, 42-10. Either way, it is a complete ass-kicking in Little Rock there. I don't know if Sam Pittman's going to make it through the season. I don't know if he's going to make it to tomorrow. I think we could have a Mike Gundy situation there pretty soon. But, gentlemen, let's get into our price picks and our NFL game picks. We'll have a little bit of a shorter segment as we attempt to get back on the clock. We'll talk Astros next segment and then Mount Rushmore at 1:15. If you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and start first with my price picks, and I'll just rattle off all three because they all happen to be from the same team. That's because Swarm, baby, the Texans win. These are all from Texans players. See what you guys think of these. First one is Kaimi Fairbairn over, or what's the language of price pick, Sean? Is it more? More. Okay, my bad. I'll get the branding right here.
Jesus Christ.
I know, rookie. Like, what was your first day here?
Yeah.
Come on, bro. You knew. So Kaimi Fairbairn more than 1.5 field goals. He's made 6 field goals so far, multiple field goals in 2 of those 3 games, which would obviously hit the more. In the only game he didn't hit the more, he hit 1 and he missed 1. So he's going to have the opportunity to hit. He's generally a pretty good kicker, so I'll take the more there. The more or less for Will Anderson Jr. sacks is half, which is pretty normal. But I think I'm just going to take the more side. He's got a sack in every game. They're playing if one of the worst offenses in the league. The only reason they're not the worst offense is because that belongs to the Texans. So I think Will Anderson Jr. gets another sack. He's got 3 in the season, 1 in each game so far. And my final one, see what you guys think here. C.J. Stroud more than 16.5 rushing yards so far in 3 games. He's rushed for 22, 27, and 32. So he's been more than that every single game. So give me more on C.J. Stroud, 16.5 rushing yards. Will Anderson just has to get 1 sack. The more or less is half a sack, and then Fairbairn more than 1.5 field goals. Any thoughts?
Yeah. I think they're all pretty solid. I mean, you can even get the demon play of 2.5 more on field goal.
What's the payout
it's
there?
just an increased payout. I'll have to.
Yeah, no, you don't have to dig into that much.
Is it the green demon or the orange one?
It's the red one.
Oh, the red one.
I consider it, but because it's the Titans, I think maybe one of the possessions that would have normally been a field goal turns into a touchdown.
Yeah. It's basically 1.5.
Yeah, it makes me a little nervous.
The multiplier is 1.5.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Man, that is tempting, but I think I'd stick with the 1.5 number. Cam, what's your first prize pick for this week?
My first prize pick is James Cook over 75.5 rushing yards against New Orleans.
More. Come on, branding, pal.
What did I say?
You said over.
Oh, my bad. Yes, rephrase. James Cook, more than 75.5 rushing yards against New Orleans. He's averaged like 110 the last 2 games or something.
Game script would say the Bills are going to be up by infinity. The only worry there
15-point favor
is the Bills are one of those teams that even though they get up and the game script says run, they'll run it, but it might be Ty Johnson. It might be Ray Davis.
Yeah.
So that's the only concern there, but I like that number, Sean.
My first one, I'll go with Matthew Golden, Sunday Night Football, more than 46.5 passing yards against the Dallas Cowboys pass defense.
The Cowboys defense is
really
trash.
You could get me some Wicks, you can get me some Dubs, you can get me some
I
Tucker
think
Kraft.
if the number is similar to what you said, 46.5.
Yeah, Wicks is 40.5.
I think I would play more on at least 4 Packers targets, and I think you named the 4: Wicks, Dobbs, Golden, Kraft.
Yeah, or you could even go Jordan Love. Just
get them
pick
all in your lineup.
Pick on the Cowboys defense.
Yeah, get them all in your lineup. Cam, what's your next one?
Drake May, more than 214.5 passing yards against the Carolina Panthers.
I don't hate that.
Yeah,
I don't hate that. I think that number is not a bad number. Because this feels like a game he's probably going to go throw for like 230, 240.
I mean, he averages about like 235, 240 this year.
It's still an easy cover.
And to me, I know they beat the Falcons last week 30-0. It seems like a game that's destined to be close late, and you're going to get a 2-minute drive where he's passing for 65 yards. You're just going to get that drive.
And New England's not trusting their running backs right now because Stevenson can't hold on to the ball and Henderson hasn't really produced anything.
And Gibson also fumbled last
week. Ramondre fumbled twice. Gibson fumbled once. I mean, I hope this is the week Travion becomes the starter.
I looked into it. I want to see it for a week before I hop on.
No, I'm not saying play him in fantasy unless you're in one of those crazy leagues that rewards return yardage. But I think we're getting close to the point where Travion takes over. Sean, what's your next pick?
Next one, let me go Ravens, Chiefs. Let's go Lamar Jackson more than 46.5 rushing yards. This is it's a little bit of the college football big game quarterback rushing mores, is just the idea of you're going to have to get yards by any means necessary here. Last week, Lamar got sacked a few times where it looked like he was hesitant.
Lions spied him really well.
Yeah, and it looked like he was a little hesitant. He wanted to from the scramble throw the ball. I think there might be a little bit of a correction here. Also, in previous matchups against the Chiefs, which they play at least once a year.
Yeah.
The one thing that the Ravens can consistently do is have Lamar Jackson run the ball on them. So that is something that's held for a couple years now. So give me the more on 46.5 rush yards.
All right, let's get to our NFL game picks, Cam. If you'll pull up that screen, we were running a little short on time, so we'll have to cut the prize picks off there. But I think we're going to make some people some money with this week with those picks. So Cam, quickly update us on the standings, and then let's get into the games this week.
So going into week 3, in first place is myself at 7-3. Followed by BMAC at 6-4.
Boom.
Sean at 3-2 because he missed last week.
Oh, I thought Sean texted. Oh, I guess
he did not. I did not want to bother him.
Yeah, that was actually fair.
And then at the very, very below the barrel, not even the bottom, below the barrel,
he's hiding his face right
is
now.
John at 1-9.
Oh, Johnny, 1-9. Like we joked last week.
A clean sweep last week.
Sean, you missed this because we pointed out that Johnny was 1-4 the week prior. And like, let's let John go first so we could just pick opposite. And
it worked out.
Well,
it sounds like that's going to be the strategy again. So
we make John go first here?
By all means.
Johnny. Johnny, you're going first on all these, big boy. All right. Okay. First game, Cam.
First game, Houston versus Tennessee.
So this is straight up, right?
This is straight up.
Johnny?
Okay, I'm taking the opposite pick of my initial reaction, so I'm taking Tennessee here.
He's picking Tennessee.
He's going Costanza.
All right.
He's going.
Yeah,
If I always make the wrong choice, I'll make the opposite choice.
I'm thankful that the man that's younger than me made that reference, so I didn't have to. Thank you for that, Sean. You saved me. Damn right. Forever, brother. So you saved me there. So Johnny goes Titans. He's leaning into that 1-9.
It's straight up, right?
It is. It is straight up. It is
Give
straight
me
up.
the Texans.
Texans as well.
Texans as well for me.
Johnny, that's a good start, brother.
Now, if it was against the spread, I would.
If Johnny turns out to be right,
that's bad.
Kill me. All right, next game.
Pittsburgh versus Minnesota.
Johnny,
I'm taking Minnesota.
Sean,
I'm not gonna do this every time, but I legit give me Pittsburgh. I'm not doing it because of you.
Is it because Carson Wentz?
Yeah, it's Aaron Rodgers versus Carson Wentz, and I think there's word from Dublin, the streets of Dublin, that Pittsburgh fans have just taken it over.
Okay, I will begrudgingly pick. Give me the better defense. I'll take Minnesota. I don't love it. I think that if there's a play in that game, it's the under. Yeah. You saw what happened. We've seen what happens in college football when they play in Ireland. The weather's always atrocious. Yeah. The field conditions are always terrible. So my favorite play would be under there, but I will take the Minnesota side. Cam?
Yeah, I wanted to lean Pittsburgh, but Minnesota just has a better run game right now. And Aaron Rodgers, to be honest, has looked just about as good as Carson Wentz did last week.
People don't do well in the cold and rain, man.
I'm going to go Minnesota, too.
All right, next game.
Los Angeles Rams versus Indianapolis.
Remind me, this game is in L.A., right?
It is.
Johnny's got to go first. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. I'm taking Indianapolis. On the
All right, I was already going to go Rams. Made it even easier. I'm going Rams.
Likewise, also Rams for me.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
that started off as a bit there, but that's actually true on that one, Johnny.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to gimmick that one to make it. All right.
Honestly, you were the tiebreaker for me. I was thinking about going Colton when you went Colton.
All right, so we got 2 games left, Cam?
2 games left.
All right, what's the next one?
Kansas City versus Baltimore.
Johnny?
I'm taking KC.
God, this is not a bit. Baltimore's the more talented team. Give me the Ravens. I just don't trust. I think both these. Well, the Ravens' defense has been pretty suspect against the run, but thankfully they're facing a team of the Chiefs that has no legit running backs. So I will take the more talented team. Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm taking Baltimore too, and I don't understand John's AFC West picks. Every time he picks a team not the Chargers, he loses.
Really?
I think that he would grasp this by now, but no. All right, so.
Baltimore.
Baltimore.
Oh, my bad. There it is.
The funniest possible thing could happen, and John goes 5-0.
Yeah, you know what? For the sake of the show, I hope it happens.
Yeah,
for the sake of team content, I hope it happens. All right, now we're last game against the spread.
Last
what
game
is
against
it, Sean?
the spread.
Or not Sean, Cam?
It's the Bucks versus the Eagles. 3.5. Philly is favored by 3.5.
In Tampa.
It is in Tampa.
So Tampa favored by 3.5 in Tampa Bay. Johnny, what's your pick?
Eagles.
I'm taking Tampa Bay.
3.5 is a good number, man.
It's good. Hats off to Vegas.
Hats off to Vegas. But I'm trying not to make this a bit, but I'm gonna go Eagles. Baker Mayfield is dealing with the biceps injury. They're beat up on the offensive line. Mike Evans is gonna miss this game. I think it's too much for the Eagles to or for the Buccaneers to overcome. Give me the Eagles minus 3.5.
Yeah, for almost every exact reason you just said, I'm also going with the Eagles. Or wait, did you say you're going with the Bucks?
No, I say Eagles.
Oh, okay, Eagles. Yeah,
No,
Eagles.
Johnny's
here.
going with the Bucks.
Yeah,
I'm going with the Eagles.
Eagles here.
You know what? Out of solidarity, John,
Bucks 3.5.
give me the Bucks. Give me
All
the
right.
Bad move, Sean.
Historically, you messed up there.
That statistically, that is the wrong
You
choice.
messed up there. All right. We got to get to the break, talk about the Astros, unfortunately, on the other side of the break, who are possibly ending their season tonight, depending on what happens in Anaheim and also a couple other places around Major League Baseball. That when the bullpen returns, ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5.
But it's also attached to my
ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Welcome into hour number 2 here on ESPN Radio. Brian McDonald, Cam Smith, Sean Mapes, and John Belmer with you here for 2 more segments. And join us next week where Sean and I will be out at the Kemah Boardwalk as a part of their Oktoberfest. Cam will not be there because he's got his priorities out of whack. But we'll be out there having some fun from 12 to 2, so make sure you join us. Right now, we got to talk about the misery that is the finish to the Astros season before we get into Mount Rushmore +1 next segment. Like, last night's game's not worth recapping. I mean, Jason Alexander, maybe the other shoe has fallen. The bullpen gives it up late with Mike Trout hitting 2 home runs, one off the bullpen, one off of Jason Alexander. But another bad loss in a string of several bad losses on this road trip playing the dregs of the AL West. And now the Astros are in a situation where to make the playoffs, and I already didn't think they're making the playoffs before last night. But to make the playoffs, they have to win out in these next 2 games with the Angels and then have either the Guardians or the Tigers lose both of their remaining games. I don't know which one would be more likely, but I believe one of them is facing the Rangers, who have nothing to play for. I forget who the other team is playing off the
Boston.
top.
Is playing Detroit.
And Boston is wrapped up. So that's the problem. Not only do you have to win 2, and you can't trust the Astros to take care of their
Yeah.
own business.
Yeah.
But the two teams you need to go 0-2, one's facing the Red Sox, who have everything wrapped up, nothing to play for. So you figure they're going to
And
reset their rotation.
And they're wrapped up in the wild card, so they will have to set things up for Tuesday when they play.
So Boston would likely not do you any favors, and then the Rangers are eliminated, who the other team is facing.
They didn't win last night.
And honestly, I'm not saying that they're going to do it, but if the Rangers were intentionally to not care and lose, it would be now to screw Houston.
Yeah, there would be.
I saw
the craziest thing never happened.
I saw some Rangers fans talking about, and then they did win last night. Like they did beat the Guardians last night, but
I can see Rangers fans wanting them to lose those games.
Yeah,
to
and
the
I think
Astros.
that's well in bounds. But yes, I think for all intents and purposes, like the season did end last night.
For sure.
It wasn't quite a must-win game, but it was a can't lose.
We don't have time to get into that argument.
It was a can't lose, and they did lose.
I feel like I was on the right side of history of that argument, but I digress. Check out yesterday's podcast
hour Will 2 of Jeremy and Joe.
Yeah, pretty much the entire hour, I think, seemingly. So getting into looking forward, because I think we're all in agreement that 99% they're not going to make the playoffs. Tell me if you disagree, but I think we're on the same page there. Someone's going to pay the price, right? Someone's going to be the fall guy for this failure this season, a season where they led the division by 7 games in mid-July, and then not only did not win the division, but slipped completely out of the playoffs. I assume we all think someone's getting fired. I know my first opinion is that Joe Espada will not survive this season, but what do you guys think as far as who gets the blame, who's the fall guy, who gets fired this season? Cam?
That's tricky because I feel like what Joe's had to deal with injury-wise the last 2 years, and to still have them winning records, still make postseason one time.
Yeah.
And then obviously this season with all the injuries throughout the year,
and
it's
they'll
just
be
like,
one or two games out.
Thank you. I get that he's probably the easiest person to point the finger at as far as the fall guy. But if it was up to me, I would say the medical staff, they need to just get everybody out of there.
Sure, but it's not going to stop there.
Well, no.
That's. I mean, I think we're all in agreement. Medical staff, okay. I meant beyond the medical staff. Maybe my fault for not clarifying. I think medical staff is the low-hanging fruit, but beyond that, do you expect or want any changes to happen, Cam?
I'm okay with Joe coming back one more year. I don't think it's going to happen though.
Sean?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Cam. Where if I were to make I guess logically it's like, what did Joe Espada actually do wrong? I don't know, and I really don't, because you have the cover of whether they're one of the most injured teams of all time, and they're gonna miss the playoffs by 2 games at most. That's how close things were. So they're not that far off from replicating what they've done in years past, or at least what they did last year, and honestly what they did in 23 too, where they won the division the last day of the season. So it's not like the fall off is drastic. It is just at a certain point, this is a failure of a season, and you need to make a change. I think some of it's just my philosophy of baseball managers is that they're, hey, whatever, fire them, get someone else.
They have the least. That's kind of my position.
You're managing the clubhouse. You're not managing on the field.
That's exactly why I would fire Joe Espada. Like football, I need a tactician, someone who could really draw up X's and O's and out scheme the other coaches. Same thing in basketball, although maybe that sport is more important to have the one star. But still, I want a strong X's and O guy as the head coach. Baseball, I need really, to simplify it, kind of like a vibes guy. I wanted someone who I think my team was going to run through the wall for, that they can motivate. Sure, he's got to make the right decisions with the bullpen in the 7th and 8th innings. The main job to me is getting guys up to play 162, because it's a long ass season. In the way this Astros team seemingly has let go of the rope and just, I know they're injured, but you can't tell me the injuries are why they score 0 runs in Oakland in one of these. They played so badly beyond just what the injuries would dictate. To me, that is a sign. And we heard some of these rumblings last year where the team didn't seem like they were happy with the communication coming from Espada. There's been enough there. There was the weirdness with how they announced the Cam Smith thing in the spring training. There's been enough there with Espada seemingly on the outside as a leader that I'd be willing to let him go to see if I could get someone that would invigorate a veteran team more than Joe Espada has.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing really to add to that. And as far as on the field, like, heads rolling, of as far as players go, I mean, you're gonna have to make a decision on the infield just with how overcrowded it is now. You're gonna get Isaac Paredes healthy.
Bye Christian Walker.
Yes, you have Carlos Correa, so you have 2 third basemen. So you have to figure something out there. I think the best move would be bye Christian Walker.
Paredes plays first base.
Teach Paredes first. And you could talk me into a Yiner Diaz trade just as another way to supplement, get some younger talent in there, and it'll be a baby version of the Kyle Tucker trade.
I'd be fine
but
with that.
it's a lower leverage move, and you can get either Victor Caratini himself or a Caratini type to just be your starting.
Yeah,
catcher
Caratini might have priced himself out of the market they want to spend there, but that certainly would be something I would consider. All right, we're gonna have to cut off the Astros conversation there because we're running a little bit behind, and we got a lead time for Mount Rushmore Plus One and our final segment. That's next. ESPN Radio 97.5 and 92.5. Welcome in Houston to the best part of your weekend. Welcome into Mount Rushmore Plus One, the award-winning, game-changing, groundbreaking segment that's forever changed the landscape of sports radio. And we'll get Sean, Cam, John, and myself, also Andrew Carlson, RJ Saunders, and a few others into the Texas Radio Hall of Fame in far less than the 27 years it took those bums John Lance to get there.
Joe George,
Loser. Facts, John. Thank you for hitting the bell. That also might be the bell of a fine coming our way because I keep taking shots at John Lance. I digress. I don't know if I'm doing this bit for the last time, but I'll get into my Mount Rushmore Plus One. My Mount Rushmore Plus One. This might be mostly for Sean, but I think Johnny and Cam will enjoy it as well. This is a Mount Rushmore Plus One. of teams. I can't explain why, but I'll never play as them in college football 26. Like, I just, like, the vibes aren't there. Like, like whenever we start a new league, I'm scrolling through, I'm like, I see the logo, I'm like, nah.
So teams you wouldn't even play as in a video game.
No, it's like, now I'm going to exclude teams like from like an obvious rivalry basis. Like, I'm excluding A&M, OU. Those are too easy. These are like, I don't have a reason to hate them. I'm just like,
no thanks.
Nah, I'll pass.
Okay.
All right. First one on the list of teams I can't explain why. And this is the origin of it. Teams I can't explain why, but I'll never play as them on college football 26. Virginia. That's where this came from. Like, I don't know. It's like Cavaliers. it's kind of a weak ass nickname, right? Virginia. You're not even like the coolest school in your in your state. Like Virginia Tech's the A program. Like,
your mascot wears a hat with a feather in it. That's
like, no,
that's a point against you.
I can't. When I get a big play and it cuts to the mascot, I can't have a dude wearing a feather in his hat.
Yeah.
So hard pass in Virginia. Next one, similar reason to what you just said there. When I score a touchdown or make a big play, like, I don't want to look over to see the Purdue Boilermakers mascot, that dude in the helmet. Like, don't. No thanks. Pass.
It is a disconcerting mascot.
Yeah, Purdue. Like, I mean, Boilermakers. It's like a reference to the 1800s. Like, I can't do that. No.
Swaggerless.
Yeah, no swag. Seriously, is there any school with less swag than Purdue?
No, there isn't.
I can't think.
It's like 75% male. It is. Enrollment wise.
Oh,
it's like
hard pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass. Next one, Cincinnati.
Interesting.
Like, I just like, they just
really.
No, it's like they. I know they made the playoffs a few years ago, but it feels like a team without and they're recently now in a Power 5 or a Power 4 conference. But it just feels like, I don't know, like a team without a history I care about. Like, there's no
the Kelsey brothers.
And outside the Kelsey brothers, what have you ever cared about in Cincinnati football?
They made the playoff that one time.
It got smoked.
The 4-team playoff.
Yeah,
the hard way.
Yeah. I don't care.
I'm not vehemently for
Cincinnati.
It is just surprising.
All right,
cool uniform.
The next one I actually do have, I think, a reason. It's a really lame, dumb reason, but I'm not going to do it because of this really lame, dumb reason. I can't play as a school that goes by Pitt. It just Pitt sounds stupid. Like, just say like, who are you playing as? Pitt. Like, it's just saying the word Pitt sounds stupid.
This is the most absurd one. What are you
Are you going to play as Pitt? The Pitt Panthers.
Yes.
Who cares?
Yes, I would.
No, you play in an NFL stadium. Weak. When's the last time you've been relevant? When James Conner was there?
Yeah. I mean, great story.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, ever heard of him?
Didn't they lose their rivalry with West Virginia? Like that rivalry's dead now. Like, I just.
No, they played 2 weeks ago.
Okay, whatever.
They lost.
I still.
I think
you know why? You know why I didn't know that? You know why I didn't know that? Because it's Pitt.
Yeah, they did lose to West Virginia. To be fair,
exactly. And number one on the list. And again, no reason why. Just like bad vibes. Actually, this might be Drew Lock related, but Missouri. I will never play as Missouri.
This is a weird list. You're not wrong.
I told you. I had. I mean, I know you might have disagreed with one of these, Sean, but like, there's some you're not gonna play as Purdue, right? No one's playing.
No, Purdue, you're 100%
okay.
right.
All right. At least
and
you
what's
with
the
me
first
on Purdue.
one?
First
Virginia.
one was Virginia.
Yeah, you're right on those two.
Yeah, you got to
the last three are just absurd.
All right, Cam, what's your Mount Rushmore +1?
I'm not going to say an honor because it's traumatic, but after the Fred VanVleet injury, my list is worst injuries to Houston sports players, and arguably
Mount Rushmore +20. Like how many we
well,
got here?
This is more like their career was essentially over after this.
Oh, you think Fred's career's over?
I think that he's never going to be the same. He's 32 and he just tore his ACL. I mean, by the time
he's on a 2-year contract.
I mean, Kevin Durant though. I mean, Kevin Durant's had like multiple catastrophic leg injuries and he's still playing.
I'll say higher starting point on that.
True,
than
fair.
5'10" point guard.
That's a fair point, Sean.
Who shot less than 40% from the field last
Big
year.
in the playoffs though.
He was.
So yeah, on that list, Fred VanVleet.
Okay, reason for the season. Yeah,
losing him for the season, and yeah, I think at his age, I don't think he's going to be the same Fred like ever again. Yao Ming.
Oh yeah, good one.
Which injury?
yeah, really.
The one
I guess it'd be like the
broken foot.
His foot in 2011, where basically that was the end of his career. He played like 5 games and he was basically done after that.
Was that against Phoenix? that he got hurt?
It was the Lakers series.
Oh, okay. I was at a
Unless
game.
I'm thinking of a different injury, but the Lakers series, they won game 1 and he got hurt, and then he missed the rest of the series. I don't remember him ever doing much after that.
I was at one of the games where Yao Ming was done for the season. Like, I watched him get hurt in person.
Yeah. Oh, sad. I loved Yao. Go ahead, Cam.
Gonna go old school a little bit with this one. Dickie Thon.
Yeah, I don't even know.
That
was in the 80s.
Yeah, second baseman, had what looked to be a promising career, then he got hit in the face.
Oh, I have heard about that.
Yeah, and it
okay.
basically derailed his career.
Yeah, good call. That's a good one.
Another one, J.R. Richards suffered a stroke, and his baseball career was basically over that, and he was one of the most dominating pitchers in the 80s.
Yeah, the end of his career in life was, man, it was sad.
And his career's not over. He's still young. He's still playing. But Jamal Shed, that injury when he was with the Cougs, that basically ended his.
He still made the NBA.
He still made the NBA, but it just you see there's a little bit of like it, and obviously he can still play in the NBA. But
it ended his Houston career.
Yeah,
like
it ended his Houston career. Like it was a dramatic injury at the time that it was, because arguably that was the best U of H team that we've seen in the last like.
That
10
was
years.
against Duke that he got hurt, right?
I think so. Yeah,
2 or 3 years ago. Yeah,
2024.
Yeah, they would have won that game.
Yeah. All right, Johnny, your Mount Rushmore +1, sir.
Okay, so I don't know if y'all seen this week, but the CFL had a game go down to the wire that was tied.
With the kick through the end zone?
They kicked through the end zone. They still got 1 point even though he missed it.
I hate that.
Hell no.
So stupid.
Immediately, I was like, all right, I'm doing my Mount Rushmore +1 of stupid rules in sports that I just hate.
Change,
and that would be number 1 on the list if it wasn't the
very
inspiration.
worthy. Very
but I don't care about CFL, so they don't make the list.
I like that. The reason for the season's so bad, F you, you're not on the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that might be a first.
Number 5, the crowd silence in golf. I never understood it.
Except for that one event, was it in Phoenix, where you could go crazy?
Even then, they're not like. It's not like in Happy Gilmore. Like,
no, it's not Happy Gilmore. Yeah.
They are pretty quiet.
I agree with you, Joe.
Yeah, they just get super quiet.
Same goes for tennis.
LeBron can hit a free throw with 17,000 people yelling, but you can't swing your golf club because 40 people are yelling.
Exactly. Number 4, the runner on second base in extra innings.
Yeah,
still absolutely drives me crazy.
There's a rule where you have it for the regular season, don't have it for the postseason, chances are it's stupid.
Yes.
Chances are it's a stupid.
Absolutely.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. Number 3, and this might take y'all off. 1 foot down, 1 foot being down in college football drives me crazy.
I wish it was uniform either way.
I do,
yeah. Like, I don't care if it's 1 foot or 2 foot. I just wish it was.
It needs to be
same.
It needs to be.
I
think 2 foot is what it needs to be in both places.
I think they're good enough to where they can be 2 foot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. These are good players. Like, they can do it. Number 2, when a player swings and misses at strike 3 and the ball gets away from the catcher, they run to first base and get on first base. I hate that.
Strike. You don't like drop third strike.
Unless it's my player getting on the base. Then I'm like, all right, cool. We got away with one.
We just seemingly ignore that he struck out.
Yeah,
and they count it as a strikeout.
It still goes down as like it's. I agree with you. Like, I hadn't thought about that as a rule I would change, Johnny. But you're absolutely right. Yeah. It's one of the dumbest things in sports. Like, he struck out. Like, why are we allowing him to get the first
I'm
base?
fine with the rest of the runners like on that strikeout.
Yeah, the rest of the runners can run because they've already achieved getting on base.
Yeah.
That guy hasn't. He struck out.
Yeah.
Anyway, Johnny.
And then number 1, fumbling through the end zone for touchback, absolutely ridiculous.
That is a worthy number 1.
That one I'm fine with. I'm fine with that rule.
Well, you don't know ball though.
Don't fumble.
All right, main event mates. You got about 3 minutes here. Main event.
3 minutes. Okay, this is a good one. It's a lot of short answers. Mount Rushmore +1 of ways to low key disrespect someone.
Nice
things you can call a person that don't get you really in trouble, but you are being disrespectful.
Canceled, but you're disrespectful.
Yes. First one, buddy.
Yeah.
Calling a stranger buddy.
Yeah.
Hey, hold this. Hey, watch it, buddy. Hey, hold that. Hey, is this yours, buddy? Pretty tough. This is in parentheses for white people. Muchacho, amigo, hombre. That's bad. Don't do that.
I think the worst of the list is easily Muchacho.
Yeah.
Muchacho's easily the worst.
It was the first one
you
I thought of.
You could have stopped after saying Muchacho, but you're right on the others as well.
Hombre, I almost like, but
I would. not technically as a part of the list, but I would also say, like, feeling like you have to say gracias when you're eating at a Tex-Mex restaurant.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's polite to talk to someone in their own language, it feels like it's forced and insulting in that situation. Go ahead.
He said muchacho.
Muchacho.
Muchacho's like. How you doing, Muchacho?
Hey,
All right, watch it,
wait a
dude.
second, Muchacho.
I don't know.
Wait
you.
a second,
I don't know
Muchacho.
you. All right. I'm always also all these. I'm picturing like a stranger calling.
Yes,
you this. Like,
absolutely. I think that's the plot.
I picture Clint Eastwood saying that in a movie. Hey, muchacho.
Yeah.
Make my day, muchacho.
Yeah. You have to be really cool to pull off, be a white guy casually pulling off muchacho or hombre. You have to be really cool.
Hombre, though, better than muchacho.
Yes. I subliminally ranked them.
Okay. All right. Continue.
This one actually just is like straight up disrespect, but I just put it on there. Boy.
Oh boy,
especially
boy's bad.
Not even a grown man. If you call a child boy, that's also a little disrespectful to the child.
I don't feel as bad about that one, but yeah, if you call someone like over 18 boy, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, and so this one's fourth, homie. Calling someone you don't know homie.
Shout out to someone that used to work here at the station.
Yeah, I just don't like homie.
I don't
like
either.
homie.
That's why I think Sean and I intentionally greet each other each day as by saying, "What's up, homie?"
Yeah. Chief also.
Chief also is a bad one.
Not on the list, but spiritually on the list.
I think Chief is the reason for the season.
Yeah, I think actually Buddy was, but
okay. Continue. You got one more?
Yeah, the last one. It's the most disrespectful. Son.
Son.
And somehow
Son.
being like, we live in a society today where it's a grand way to start this. That if you're 10 years older, if you're a man 10 years older than another man, you can just call him son, and they have to kind of just eat that of like, hey.
Which, by the way, like I know he didn't say the word son, but ever since CJ did the little bro to Caleb Williams, like things haven't gone well.
No.
And you were 1 year in the league more than Caleb Williams, and you tried to little bro him. It's a tad bit disrespectful, CJ Stroud. All right, that'll do it for the show today. Catch us next week. Again, we'll be in Kemah from 12 to 2 at the Kemah Boardwalk for their Oktoberfest. So catch Sean and I out there. For Sean Meigs, for Cam Smith, for John Belmer behind the glass, I am Brian McDonald. Have a great weekend, Houston. See you next week.